Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Welcome to tonight's class. I'm joined today by two of my colleagues, Tracy and Mpo. So we're going to discuss today, we're just going to look specifically on VAT because a lot of people, when the class was presented a few weeks back, struggled to understand the concept on VAT. So today we're gonna we're gonna touch on the theory on the VAT, and then after that do the question that was done in that previous class. So Mpo will take you through the theory, and then after that Tracy will do the question with you while I look at the chat and try to answer some of your queries during the presentation. So without wasting any further time, Mpo, can you please start presenting?
Good evening, everyone. Just a quick one, Pam, just to make sure that we're aligned. Are we going to study Unit 5 only? Are we going to study Unit 5 and VAT, or must I just get into the VAT theory?
I just start with the VAT theory so that when we do the question, students can follow.
Okay.
Thanks.
I'll do that. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Let me know when you can all see my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, Mpo, we can see.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, everyone. So I started my slide basically by showing you the types of taxes that the SARS, the receiver of revenue, collects from us as taxpayers, right? And the main one that I've highlighted over here being your income tax. And then the second one, the other one being VAT, right? And I'll go into the detail of the VAT. So what is VAT? VAT is an abbreviation for value added tax, right? It is an indirect tax on the consumption of goods and services. So in layman's terms, VAT is tax levied on the sale and purchase of goods and services, right? So to be able to levy or claim VAT, you need to be a registered VAT vendor. And to be a registered VAT vendor, you must make taxable supplies. You must make taxable supplies of over 1 million. Therefore, you're going to have to compulsorily register. Or if you make taxable supplies of more than 50 million, of more than 50,000, apologies, then this is going to be a voluntary registration. I will go into the next slides on the types of supplies. So, not this slide. Oh, this. Okay. So the types of supplies, like I said, to be a registered VAT vendor, you need to make taxable supplies. However, there are two types of supplies that you guys must note. There are taxable supplies and there are exempt supplies. To repeat, to be a registered VAT vendor, you must make taxable supplies. Taxable supplies are supplies for which VAT is charged at either the standard rate of 15% or at 0 rate. And then there are exempt supplies. These are goods and services not subject to VAT at all. VAT input cannot be claimed or charged by SARS. So I'm going to go into the examples of specifically the 0 rated supplies and the exempt supplies. Guys, I'm hearing that something is wrong with the sound. Pam and Tracy, is everything good? Can you guys hear me well?
Yes, everything is good on my side. I think the student must just log out and log in.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Can I just maybe do this? I'm going to stop sharing and I just want to switch off my notifications so that they don't disturb. Okay. 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 Apologies. I'm going to share again. Let me know when you can see my screen. Okay, that clearly did not work. 1 second, everyone. Sorry. Okay. So like I noted, let me go back to presentation mode and to have my laser. We have exempt supplies. These are supplies, these are goods and services exempted from VAT. These are mainly fee-related financial services, educational services provided by an approved educational institution, residential accommodation. So basically, when you rent a house, there's no VAT that's going to be there's no VAT that's going to be added onto that. However, commercial accommodation will attract VAT, and then salaries and wages, because we are charged pay as you earn on that. And the reason I highlighted salaries and wages is because this is what you are most likely to come across in your examples, that the salaries and wages, company XYZ paid salaries and wages. Remember, this is not going to have any VAT on it because it's an exempt supply. And then public road and rail transport, specifically public road and rail. They're not saying anything about airplanes. These are all exempt supplies. Happiness. Then there are zero-rated supplies. Zero-rated supplies are taxable supplies. However, VAT is charged at zero rate. And for my understanding in varsity, how I looked at this is that SARS is trying to accommodate the poor, or accommodate us for the basic needs, right? So these are the exports, the 19 basic foods and food items, illuminating paraffin. Who uses paraffin a lot? The poor. So imagine winter's coming, and then now we have to charge these exorbitant prices to buy paraffin and also add VAT. That is going to be very costly, right? Goods that are subject to fuel levy, such as petrol and diesel. You know how the petrol prices have been increasing. Those are all zero-rated supplies, meaning that they are taxable supplies once again. However, VAT is levied at zero rate. International transport services, farming inputs, sales of going concern, and certain grants offered by government. This is all based on your slides, the Unit 5 slides. Coming into the zero-rated food stuff, this is the list of it. It's your basic food stuff, the food that has not been processed, such as your mealie rice, your vegetables, your brown breads. All of these foodstuffs are basic foodstuffs that are mainly used by the poor. VAT on these foodstuffs is going to be charged at zero rate. Okay. Then you need to understand that there's VAT input and VAT output. So these are your golden rules. And I've put this as a heart, meaning this, you must know this by heart because it's a rule. And then the golden egg means that it's a golden rule, right? So it's very important. The first one I'm going to go into is VAT input, right? Input VAT is VAT that is going to be claimed, right, on the purchase of items. So if you purchase items in your business, you are going to claim input VAT on that item that you have purchased. Output VAT, right, is VAT that you charge out. It goes out and you pay it over to SARS. So this is now on the sale, right? When you have a sale as a business of an item, you are going to charge output VAT on that transaction. Then at the end, output VAT, basically the VAT that you're going to pay out minus input VAT, which is the VAT you are going to claim from the purchases within your company, is going to give you an amount payable or refundable to SARS. I'm going to further elaborate that on the next slide, and I hope let me do this. You're not going to see this slide, so I will resort to my Excel. So my students know, my group 34 knows that I like dresses and I like making clothes. So to make a dress, I need to purchase a machine, right? I need to purchase a machine for 1,150, right? When I purchase this machine is coming into my business. So then the VAT input on this machine So I bought this machine at Game, and Game is a taxable, is a registered VAT vendor. So they added VAT on this, on the purchase price of this machine, right? So this, the VAT that has been charged on this machine is equal to 150 Rand. This is the VAT I am going to claim on the purchase of this machine. I therefore use this machine to sew dresses, right? When I use this machine to sew dresses, each dress costs each dress costs 115 Rand, right? Including VAT. And the type of VAT on this dress is going to be output, right? Output tax. This is the tax I'm going to pay over to SARS. So therefore, the VAT output on this dress is equal to 15% of over 115. It's equal to 15 Rand. The VAT output on this dress is equal to 15 Rand. So now this is if I am selling one dress, right? So at the end of the tax, at the end of the VAT period, VAT output, right, golden rule, minus VAT input must give me an amount payable or receivable from SARS, right? So VAT output minus VAT input gives me an amount payable or receivable to SARS. So when we are making one dress, you will see that our VAT output that we claimed is more than the VAT output. The VAT input that we claimed is more than the VAT output that we charged, which means that SARS owes us, right? When we make 5 dresses, we still put the machine for 1,150. We still, apologies for that. So our VAT input charged from, our VAT input claim from SARS is still 150, right? Our selling price for the dress now is times 5, right? Our VAT input still the same, 15 Rand times 5 dresses. So at the end of the tax period, VAT output minus VAT input, once again, should give us an amount payable or receivable to SARS. So once again, our VAT output is still smaller than our VAT input, which means SARS owes us money. Then when we make 12 dresses, bear with me, you're going to see the principle that I'm trying to illustrate once again shortly. When we make 12 dresses, we still bought that machine, that one machine at a point in time. We claim our 150 from SARS. Okay? Now we are selling 12 dresses, right? The VAT input that the VAT output that we're going to charge is still the 15 Rand times the 12 dresses that we've sold. VAT output minus VAT input over here at the end of our tax period. Can you see that now that we are selling more, we are charging more VAT output and we need to pay more money to SARS. So now VAT output minus VAT input. For the first time, our VAT output is more than our VAT input, meaning that SARS owes, we need to pay SARS. So I'm going to highlight this in green. Yes.
Sorry to disturb. They're asking if you can make your screen a bit bigger.
A bit bigger. Oh, how's that? Can you see that? Is that fine? Is that fine, guys?
Yes, I see a lot of thumbs up.
Okay. So then the principal, 1 second, I'll just fix that. That's no. So the principal and the cheat code that I then gives to the
Sorry again.
Yes.
Can you please just redo the question or the example?
Okay. So I'll go back to my slide so that you can understand where we are, right? We are here, the golden principles of VAT, that there's a difference between VAT input and VAT output. And that at the end of the tax period, VAT output over here minus, I'm not in presentation mode, VAT output minus VAT input will give us the amount payable or refundable to SARS. So now I'm trying to put this in a practical sense using dresses. Okay, so I will go to this over here. So I'm in this business of making dresses. I want to make dresses and I sell these dresses. I buy a machine, a sewing machine at Game for 1,150. Game is a registered VAT vendor, so they added VAT on the price of the machine. So the machine including VAT, let me add over here. So the machine including VAT is 1,150. I'm purchasing this machine and bring it into the business, which means that I can claim VAT input, right, on the purchase of this machine. And the reason we are doing this is because we don't want to double tax each other. Game has added VAT, has paid over 150 as VAT output to SARS. I can't go now and also pay 150 to SARS because Game has already done that on the purchase of this particular item, which is this machine, which means that I am going to claim this VAT as VAT input. I therefore use this machine to make taxable supplies. Remember, you only have VAT on taxable supplies. So I use this machine to make taxable supplies, which are dresses, right? When I sell each dress at 115 Rand, including VAT, right? Which means that I can charge VAT output and pay it over to SARS at 15 Rand per dress. So if it's in the entire tax period, I've only sold one dress. At the end of the month, at the end of the tax period, VAT output minus VAT input must give me an amount payable over to SARS or refundable from SARS, right? Or receivable from SARS. So if you look at this example, VAT output of 15 less VAT input of 150 gives me a negative 135, which means SARS owes me 135. They need to pay me 135, right? This is when I'm making one dress. When I make 5 dresses, I still purchase that one machine at the beginning, right? I claim my VAT input once again at 150. I now sell 5 dresses. VAT input at 15 Rand per dress times 5 dresses will give me 75 Rand. At the end of the tax period, VAT output minus VAT input will give me an amount payable or receivable to SARS. In this case, VAT output minus VAT input is a negative 75 Rand, which means that SARS needs to pay me 75 Rand. When I make 12 dresses, I still purchased my machine. I still claimed the machine at 150, right? I sell my dresses at 115, 12 dresses. The VAT output at 15 Rand per dress times 12 dresses is 180. At the end of the tax period, VAT output minus VAT input is now 30, So our VAT output is more than our VAT input, which means that I need to pay over SARS 30 Rand. Is everyone clear? So the principle that I'm trying to illustrate, or the cheat code I'm trying to illustrate, is that if VAT output minus VAT input is a negative, then it means that SARS has to pay me. If VAT output minus VAT input is a positive, it means I need to pay SARS. That's the principle I'm trying to illustrate there. So I have put this in the slide over here, and I have put the principle over here for you guys. It's just that I figured that it was going to be small, so I decided to just redo it for you guys in Excel. Happiness, Pam, Tracy, any questions on this that I need to address before I move on?
No questions in the chat, but I see there are 4 hands that are up. So we can take questions, or 3 now.
Okay, can you please go
Okay.
yeah.
Buhle, I see you up. You can unmute and ask your question. Buhle, you can unmute.
Here we go.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, yes, thank you. Yeah, so I was asking that if the machine was purchased and it wasn't including that in the purchase of the machine, would I still be able to charge VAT on the items that I sell? And if I was able to include that in the items that I sell, that money, will I then just collect it as it is and then send it through to SARS, pay through to SARS?
Okay, so you have 2 questions. The first question is that if game did not add VAT onto the machine, would I be able to claim it or not? Is that what your first question is?
Yes.
Yes. So the question is no, because you need to have been a registered VAT vendor. That means that they should have been able to charge VAT output so that I can be able to claim it as VAT input. If they did not do that, then I was not going to be able to claim this as VAT input.
Okay, so that would mean
that's a disadvantage for me as a business, and that's why it would be beneficial for a business to transact with other VAT registered
okay.
Yes.
Okay, makes sense.
So
So it
this is
would
the
mean
cycle.
my VAT input would be 0.
My VAT input here would then be 0.
Okay.
So then I lose that benefit of claiming, and then all that I'm now left over is now charging. So then I'm using the machine, right, to make traces. Then the question you ask yourself, are these traces taxable supplies? Right?
Yes.
And if the answer is yes, then I can charge that output on these traces.
Correct.
Yes, and then I can pay that over to SARS.
Okay.
Happiness.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question, please. Pam, Tracy, any other questions?
Bongani, I'm unmuted. You can ask your question.
While I'm waiting for people to ask questions,
Okay,
I'm just
let's
going to
go
stop.
for Cynthia.
I'm going to stop sharing so that I prepare my want over got examples quickly.
Cynthia, you can ask your question. Okay, let's go for Andile.
Thank you, everyone. Evening, everyone. I just wanted to know if we on study unit 10, because I made a mistake. I went to the old group. I've just joined now. I wanted to know which study unit are we studying this evening. Thank you.
Okay, I'll take that one. It is study unit 5, and we are focusing on VAT because that's where we had most of the queries from students.
Okay, thank you.
F. Choku, sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. You're allowed to ask your question.
Evening.
Hello.
Yes, I don't know if maybe I'm too early to ask this question, but I was just wondering as she was presenting, like she said at first, if a person sell one dress and somehow I want that screen so that I can just speak from what I see, she can claim 135 from SARS. So from there, I wanted to know within what period can a person claim? Can a person maybe just do one dress? For example, is an example, right? It can be other a taxable supplier and claim a certain amount so that when she start to do more, she doesn't she doesn't have nothing to claim. I don't know if my question is clear. Like a person start claiming with one dress, knowing that once she does more thread, she will have to owe SARS. That's my first question. I don't know, am I clear?
It's not clear, but I'll give it a shot. So if I'm understanding you correctly, you are saying that, okay, let me answer you, then you'll tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
So this is I'm making an example in each tax period. So in tax period 1, if you make one dress, then SARS needs to pay you 135. In the next tax period, because business is seasonal. I don't know how many dresses I'm going to sell, right? So then in the first tax period, I find SARS having to pay me. Let's say this is now towards the beginning of the year. Towards the end of the year, the last tax period, I'm selling 12 dresses. It's around December, right? I'm making more dresses towards the end of the year because you're buying Christmas clothes. Now, in this tax period, I can claim I will have to pay money to SARS because I'm selling more dresses.
Okay, no, it's fine. I think I'll understand as you go through, because my question was basically that you see with one dress you can claim, with more dresses you owe SARS. So I said, can somebody maybe try to avoid that? Maybe, okay, but it's fine because there is a tax period. Maybe I didn't understand that there is a tax period. It's fine.
So are you saying
And
that
this,
in another tax period, can a person try and say that I made less dresses so that I don't have to pay SARS?
it's fine. I don't think, maybe I asked this question maybe because I'm still getting used to this, but it's fine. I'll ask it later if I still don't understand.
The thing is,
So-
later I'm not going to come back to this point. So that's why I'd like us to finish it, because now I'm going to teach you something else, because this is where I wanted to illustrate how VAT input versus VAT output works, and whether and the amount receivable and payable to SARS and that principle. So I'm not going to address it again later. So I'd like us to clarify now.
Okay, I don't think my question was that necessary. I was just asking, or somebody can, when you try to, I don't know, to rob something, because
Yes.
like as I said, when he sells one dress, SARS owes her 135, right? And when she sells many dresses, she owes SARS 30. So let's say within that one particular tax period, can he claim, my question was, can she claim first while she only did one dress, so that, okay, let me leave this question and go to the second question, because I think once I understand more and more, I'll be able to understand my question. I don't know.
Okay.
I
Pam or
think let's
Tracy,
leave
do
it.
you maybe understand what she's trying to ask?
Okay, I'll try to explain. So here, Cynthia, what she's trying to show is that when to try to see that when to determine when you should pay SARS and when you have a refund. So with the dresses, when if you are in the business of making a dress, what are you going to purchase? What are your items that you're going to purchase to make that dress? You're going to buy wool, you're going to buy material, you're going to buy the machine. So all of these things, all your purchases, you're going to claim VAT, right? And then with that, that you bought, you're going to make the dress. So you can't, there's no way to cheat the system and say, okay, I'm going to sell less dresses this period so that I can get a refund. It just depends. As you said, a business is seasonal. It depends, uh, let's say, on how your business went in that month. If you sold more dresses than what you purchased, obviously now you're gonna have to pay SARS. You're gonna give SARS the refund. And if your business didn't go well that other period, then it's the other way around. So there's no cheat code to get a refund from SARS.
Yes, I now understand. I just wanted to use the word cheat. I think maybe I was going to be clear. The second question is, when calculating the VAT input, VAT output, I don't know if there is any two formulas, because I see the formula that is used is different from the formula that was used last time. So I don't know, maybe it's different formula, it's just, I don't know.
I'm going to get to the formulas just now. That's where I'm going to explain how I use, how I calculate the VAT. Yeah, so I'm going to explain that just now. Just hold on a second, and then if after this part of the session you still don't understand, then let's chat about it.
Thank you.
Okay. So we'll take questions maybe after the next session, because there's a lot of hands raised. Then we can, so that we don't waste too much time. So Mpo, you can continue. We'll take questions after.
Okay. So then coming to the formulas, can you still see my screen, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, Mpo.
So I want to introduce you guys to what I call the want over got method. So this is when you need, you need to know whether you need to multiply by 15%, 15 over 115, 15 over 100, right? So as a student, I've always used the want over got method. So in principle, to explain it to you guys, the want over got method works this way. It's the amount given multiplied by the percentage, the percentage of what I want over the percentage of what I have, right? Let me go to the slide, right? So the first thing in the want over got method that you need to remember is that the amount excluding VAT is always represented by 100%, right? The amount excluding VAT is represented by 100%. The VAT amount is always represented by 15%, because, right, that's the current VAT rate, right? It's 15%. So if I want the VAT portion of the transaction, it's going to be represented by 15%. And then the amount including VAT, I just need to remember to add this to my slide. The amount including VAT is the 100% excluding VAT plus the 15%. So it is represented by 115%. Those are the first rules that you have to remember. Then coming to the calc itself, I am saying that it's the amount given multiplied by the percentage of what I want divided by the percentage of what I have. So here's a small example, right? I have a dress. I am selling this dress at 115 Rand. And the required is that what is the VAT amount? What is the VAT amount of this 115? So going to want over got amount given of 115 multiplied by the percentage of what I want. I said I want the VAT amount, and the VAT amount is represented by 15%, like I just said in the previous rules, divided by the percentage of what I have. The amount given is an amount including VAT, which means that it's represented by 115%. Therefore, the VAT amount is equal to 15%. Okay, that's example. That's the first example. Hold on to your seats. We're going to do quite a few examples of this up until you get it, right? We've got example, what is actually example 1 on the slide, right? I have a sales amount excluding VAT of 100 Rand. I'm selling my dress at an amount of 100 Rand excluding VAT. I want to calculate, oh my word, why is this not on the slide? I'll have to go to Excel to illustrate this small example. So I am saying in that other example, I have a dress that I'm selling for 100 Rand excluding VAT, right? So amount given, what do I want? What do I got? I'm going to write my rules in here. Rules. VAT amount in the transaction. Oh, I need to make my screen bigger now. Make my screen bigger. The VAT amount in the transaction is represented by 15%. Now, the amount excluding VAT in the transaction is represented by 100%. And then the amount including VAT is the 15 plus the 100, which means it's 115%. It's represented by 115%. So going to this small example, I'm saying amount given, going back to the slides, sorry. Amount given multiplied by the percentage of what I want over the percentage of what I have. Going back to Excel, amount given is 100 Rand. Multiplied by the percentage of what I want, right? And I said I want the required, I want the VAT amount, right? So what do I want? I want the VAT amount. The VAT amount is represented by 15%. I put it over here, 15%. What do I have? I have the amount excluding VAT. It's what I got, which is represented by 100%. I put it over here. So to answer my question, amount given multiplied by 15 by what I want over what I got. Sorry. Over what I got gives me the VAT amount for this transaction. Okay. Then, okay, we've done that example.
Hi, Mpo.
Yes.
So they're asking that you please just slow down a bit.
Okay. Are we happy? Do we have questions? Questions, ladies?
I see thumbs up. You can continue. We'll take a majority of the questions after.
Okay. So I'll go to the last basic example, and then I'm going to, let's see. Okay, this is the last basic example. And then we're going to go to I'm going to play with bigger numbers, okay? Because this is easy. So the last example is that I've got a sales amount including VAT of 115, right? And I want, the required is that give me the amount excluding VAT. Amount given, 15, multiplied by the percentage of what I want. So the amount excluding VAT is represented by 100%, divided by the percentage of what I have. And what I have is an amount including VAT, which is represented by 115%. Therefore, the amount excluding VAT on this transaction is 100 Rand. Okay. Okay, so let's play with the numbers a bit. Let's play with the numbers a bit. And then you guys will tell me, can I ask if someone understands, guys, ladies, Pam, is there someone who understands this? If you can raise your hand and unmute, and then we can talk through this together so that I can see where everyone is. Is there someone who's willing to do this with me? Pam, Tracy, is there someone?
There is Tembeka.
Tembeka? Okay, thank you. Tembeka, let's do this example together. Ne? Happiness, are you unmuted? Tembeka?
Tembeka, just raise your hand so I can unmute you.
Is she unmuted?
I need to find her.
Okay.
Okay,
I like
there
it
it is.
classes. Okay.
Okay, your mic is allowed, Tembeka. You can talk.
Okay. So Tembeka, name, say hi. Hello. Say hello. Can you hear me? Tembeka? Okay. Not working. Okay. Is there anyone else, ladies?
Ritabile.
Okay, Ritabile, let's go. Should we do this example together?
I've allowed your mic. You can talk.
Ritabile, are you there? Ladies, is our sound working?
Yes, it's working.
Yes, the students are just not talking.
Yes. Hello. Hi.
Hi, Ritabile.
Hello.
Hi, let's do this example together. Ne?
Yes.
I purchased a dress ne? For 6,543, including VAT. Ne? What is the VAT amount on this? Ne? So we want the VAT amount. So tell me, what's our amount given?
It will be the 6,543.
Happiness. And then what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? What is it represented by?
You want VAT, which is 15.
Which is 15%. Okay. What do I got?
Since it's VAT inclusive, then it will be 115.
115. So then to answer our question, amount given multiplied by what I want, divided by what I got, and this is the VAT amount on the dress. Happiness.
Yes.
Okay, let's do required number 2 on the same example. I want, what is the amount excluding VAT? Okay, so let's do our steps. These are steps in your mind that you are doing. Amount given.
6,543.
Okay. What do I want? What is it represented by? So I want an amount excluding VAT, and an amount excluding VAT in the rules, what is it represented by?
100.
100. Okay.
Yes.
And then what do I have?
15.
No, I've been given an amount including VAT, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've been given an amount including VAT. And what is that represented by in our rules? An amount including VAT is represented by, we just did it over here, 115.
Yes.
Yes. So 115, right? So I want the amount excluding VAT. So it's the amount given, right? Amount given 6543 multiplied by the percentage of what I want, which is the amount excluding VAT, which is represented by 100%, divided by the percentage of what I have. And what I have is an amount including VAT, which is represented by 115%. And that gives me that amount, right? Then we do a quick sense check over there, where we're saying the amount excluding VAT plus our VAT amount up top that we just calculated. Do we work back to the 6543? Yes, we do. Our calculations are correct. Happiness.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, we can do one more example. Does someone want to take this last example and do it with me and we can chat through it?
Is my mic working? Hi.
Yes, your mic is working.
Oh, sorry, it's me, Tembega. Sorry, my mic was not working there.
Okay.
I forgot my settings for the MacBook, but can I do this one with you?
Yes, we can do this. Okay, so I purchased a dress for, in your, oh, let's make the screen bigger. Can you see?
Yes, 5438.
Yes, I purchased the dress for 5438. You know what? Let's do our starting point a little bit differently because you're gonna cram me, and I don't like that. Don't like being confirmed. Okay. So I purchased a dress for 5438. Né? Required, I want the amount including that. What's the amount given? Step one.
Okay, so we do have 5,438. That is the amount given, excluding that.
Excluding
So
that.
The percentage that we have excluding that is
of what I have or got. Are we starting with want or got?
Okay, what we have, I'm starting with what we have on the table.
Okay.
So we already have 5,438.
Okay.
And we already have 100% excluding that.
Okay.
Okay, so right now we're looking for the amount that is including that. So the formula that you just gave us, it's like 5,438 times the amount that we want, which is 100%, divided by 115 that we already have. So let me just do it on my calculator.
Okay, wait, Tembega, you're going ahead of me, so I'm getting lost. Let's follow
this.
Sorry. Okay, so we're saying we have the amount given, 5,438, ne? We want the amount including that. The amount including that, let's go back to the rules. What is it represented by?
Can you say that again? Didn't hear.
The amount including that. Which percentage is it represented by? Remember, I told you there are three rules. That VAT is represented by 15%. Amount excluding VAT is represented by 100%. Amount including VAT is represented by 115.
Yes.
So here I want my want. What do I want? An amount including that. What percentage represents an amount including that?
115%.
115%. What do I have? The amount given. It's an amount excluding that. What is it represented by?
100%.
100%. Okay.
So that's about 62,54 if I round off.
Want over got. So that's our amount including that. Are we happy? Okay. Let's do required number 2. Here I want what is the that amount. Ne? let's do. Okay, so I'm going to hide this so that doesn't confuse us or help us cheat. Ne? Also hide that required happiness. So I have a dress, ne? Excluding that. What's the amount giving?
We still using 5438.
Yeah, we're still using 5438.
So now we're calculating the VAT amount.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so 5438 is the amount that we're given.
Okay.
Times the amount that we want.
Yes, what do we want? What's that represented by?
15%. We want
Marvelous.
15%.
What do we got?
We got 100%.
We've got 100%, which is the amount excluding VAT, right?
Yes.
And then in our calc, amount given multiplied by what I want divided by what I got, and that's the VAT amount. Happiness.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on this?
No questions, you can continue.
Okay, wonderful. So then I'll be going to the last slide. And really the last slide is just an is now the explanation of the tax periods and the accounting basis. So basically a tax period, it's the period, it's the tax, a tax period is allocated to every entity, and a return must be submitted by an entity at the end of every tax period. So it's at the end of that tax period where you do that VAT output minus VAT input, and then you determine the amount that you have to pay over to SARS or the amount SARS has to pay you, right? So then there are different months. It's either every 2 months. So some entities must complete and submit their returns in unequal months, which is January, March, May, and others must submit their returns for equal months, which is February, April, and so on. So every second month. So those are the different tax periods that we have. And then, and this is directly from your study unit. And then we have the accounting basis. So there are 2 accounting bases. It's the invoice basis and the payment basis. On the invoice basis, tax is accounted for upon the issue of an invoice or upon the receipt of a payment, whichever comes first. So it's on the earlier of invoice or payment, right? So that's where you going to account for your tax. And then on the payment basis, tax is accounted for when payments are made, right? When purchases are purchased or made, or payments are received. So that's when those are your 2 accounting bases. Are there any questions on the slide? Okay, so I think this is the main thing. These are the main points that you guys need to understand for the purposes of this module for VAT. And I will hand over to Pam and Tracy, and then to do the question, and then you guys will let me know if there are any other questions.
Okay, I think now we can take questions regarding the slides. So I'll go from top to bottom. So starting with A Zono. I'd allowed your mic. A Zono. Okay, next person, Bongani.
Good evening.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
Okay, cool. My question is, if a business purchases inventory or whatsoever, and then they're paying for custom duties or credit on purchases, is VAT gonna be charged for that?
Oh, Pam and Tracy, please help.
Okay, so custom duty is a tax. It's almost like a tax, but on goods that you purchased from a foreign company. And then delivery cost, I think because most of the items that you buy, it will be included in the cost of the item, which at the end of the day, they will charge you VAT on the total cost.
Okay. Hello?
Hello, yes?
Yes, okay. And when a company is to pay for carriage on sales, is VAT charged as well?
Carriage means transport, right?
Yes, transporting.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that let's say you're buying an equipment,
Okay.
right, for 100 Rand.
Yes.
Then they're gonna charge you delivery cost in that same invoice. It's not gonna be separate.
Oh, okay.
And then the total amount that you're gonna pay will be inclusive of VAT and will be based on both amounts.
Oh, okay. Okay, that answered my question. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, next, Bushia. I've allowed your mic.
I'm not sure if it's the same, Buhle, but no questions from my end. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
I just wanted to ask, so the amounts that we were calculating now is the VAT that the customer owes to us that like the tax has to pay to the business, or is it the VAT that is owed by the business to the tax?
Is this now in the examples that I just did?
Yes, the examples that we were just going through now.
So it depends which view we are looking at. So for the purpose of the examples, it was not necessarily VAT input or VAT output. However, if we want to flip it and say that we were purchasing the dresses, then we were going to say it's VAT input. But if we're saying that it's dresses that we are selling, then it would have been VAT output.
All right, thank you for clarifying.
Okay, next, Ishe. I've allowed your mic. Okay, next, El Kumalo. I've allowed your mic.
Okay, anyone else?
Okay, let's go down. Tato. Bridget. Okay, no one is talking. I think we can just continue, Trace.
Okay.
Okay, that's perfect. Good evening, everyone. I'll be going through the question. Let me just share my screen quickly. Pam, would you let me know? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so guys, this question is actually quite short. There's not much info to it, but okay, we are provided with the information of ABC dealers, we are given the trial balance as at 1st of February. And then they give us some balances for our bank, our purchases, trading inventory, sales, VAT input and VAT output. Okay, they tell us that the following subsidiary journals, of which
Sorry,
only
Trace, they're asking that you must zoom your screen, please.
Zoom. Oh, okay. Is that better?
Yes.
Is it? Okay, perfect. Okay, so they tell us that the following subsidiary journals, of which only the totals of the columns are shown, appeared in the accounting records of ABC dealers at the 28th of February 2025. So then they give us the cash receipt journal, the cash payments journal, our sales journal, purchases journal, sales returns, and purchases returns. Most importantly, we are then asked to prepare the general ledger accounts of ABC dealers for February 2025, and then they ask us to prepare bank purchases, trading inventory, sales, VAT input, and VAT output. So I know that lots of students, let us maybe start here, lots of students don't understand the difference necessarily between general ledger accounts and a general journal entry. So that's also very important for you to understand, because yes, you are presenting the same information, but your format is different. So the format that you're seeing on the screen now is a general ledger account. So that is what they are asking of us in the required. If they had to ask us for a general journal, it would have looked something like this. We would say debit and credit, and you would say whatever asset you're doing there, and maybe you bought something. So then you would have two separate columns. So most importantly, we first need to understand what are they asking me and what must my answer look like. I can see someone is saying, make your screen bigger. Okay. Can you see this, guys? Pam, can you see?
Yes, we can see.
Is it big enough? Okay, perfect. Okay, so now that we understand what we are asked and what it must look like, we're going to go through each of the subsidiary ledgers one by one, and then we are going to record this in our general ledger accounts. So if we systematically think about this, so our cash receipts journal. So firstly, let's think what is included in my cash receipts journal. It's obviously all transactions where cash, where we have transacted on a cash basis. So it's not a credit basis, it's all cash basis. So firstly, we record cash sales, we record cash receipts where trade receivables have paid us. So this means that we previously sold to customers on credit, but now our customer is paying us. So that is why we're recording this in our cash receipts journal. And then also our settlement discount is where we gave those customers to whom we sold on credit, we gave them a discount because they early settled their account, or we encouraging the customers essentially to pay us quicker. So when we record these transactions, because that's what they're asking us to do, we're going to take the, they're telling us here, we don't know how much has been received in our bank account. That's why we have a question mark. So that is what we need to calculate. Okay, so then we need to say our sales that was recorded in our cash journal. So what would that look like? So they told us our sale is 18,630 Rand. And when it is recorded in our cash receipts journal, that is the amount excluding VAT. So like Paul just explained now, our sales, when we make a sale, we need to pay VAT output to SARS. So 18,630 is our sale amount. Then we need to calculate what is our VAT on the sale amount. So using Paul's method, we can say 18,630 multiplied by what we want of 15% over what we got, which is the 100%, we will then get VAT output of 2,795 Rand. And when we go back to our question, we can see there the VAT output that was recorded in our cash receipts journal was the 2,795. So when the customer paid us, we received a total amount of 18,630 plus 2,795, which is our VAT. So that customer paid us 21,425 Rand. So we will record that in our bank account, and we record it on our debit side. Why? Because when assets increase, we debit that account. Our contra entries will be to credit our sales and to credit our VAT. Okay, so we recorded our first transaction. So we took care of the sales and we took care of the VAT output. Now we look at our trade receivable account. So remember when you originally record the sale, like we did here, a sale can either be made to a customer on credit or cash. So this amount that they are showing us in the trade receivables account here, in the control account, the amount that we received from these trade receivables, that is the amount inclusive of VAT. So when we originally recorded our sale, we would have said debit trade receivable, and we would have said credit sale and credit VAT output. But now this person is paying me. So that means we can record it here. So that amount is 6,555. Okay, so we're putting it in our trade receivable account. So that is the transaction when we originally made the sale. They now told us we also gave customers settlement discounts. Okay, it was a 200 Rand. But now remember, this settlement discount is exclusive of VAT. We still need to calculate the VAT, which is that 30 Rand right there. So how do we get that? So we say it's a 200 Rand times what do we want? So we want the VAT amount over what we have. We have the 100%, and that equals the 30 Rand. Let's just check ourselves. So it's 200 times 15 over 100, which is the 30 Rand. So there we know that 30 Rand relates to the settlement discount of 200 Rand. So remember we said in the beginning, a settlement discount is granted to customers so to encourage them to pay their account sooner. So if we give a customer a settlement discount, that is reducing our trade receivable. So the customer needs to pay us less. So that means our discount allowed, it's going to be the 200 Rand plus the 30 Rand that we are reducing our trade receivable with. But now we want to know how much did our trade receivables then pay us. So they paid us the difference between the 6,555 Rand less the discount allowed. We actually received 6,325 Rand in our bank. So when our trade receivables paid us, we need to debit our bank with the 6,325 Rand because our customers have now paid us. So just to recap again, in our cash receipts journal, these are all the transactions where the company is receiving money. So you are receiving money because you sold either on cash to customers, which is this first column here, or previous sales that were made to customers on credit. Those trade receivables are now paying us. So they're paying the account off. So usually when you think about it logically also, when a customer is paying you money, your bank account is increasing. So that is, and when an asset increases, it always increases on the debit side. So that is why it makes sense for us to record our transactions for the sales money that we received on the debit side. Okay, I forgot to put our balance in there. They gave us also our debit balance for this at the start of February of 2,150. So let us just put our balance in there. And then we can move on to cash payments journal. Is there any questions before we go to cash payments journal?
Okay, we'll take some questions. Zona. I've allowed your mic.
I really don't have any question beside the fact that I can't see the screen. Do you hear me?
I think it's the yes, we can hear you. I think it's an issue on your device.
No,
you can check your
can
settings.
see the screen. It's just that the numbers they're very small. I can't see.
Can you make it a bit bigger, Trace?
I can. Like that?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's a lot.
Zoleka.
Hi, good evening. Tracy, I just wanted to ask, in the cash receipts journal, right? The amount that you got for bank, may I please see that calculation on the Excel?
Okay. So which one now? So remember, we received two amounts in our cash receipts journal. It was the cash sales of the 18,000. But remember that 18,000 is the exclusive of that amount. So we still needed to add that VAT of 2,795 Rand, which is that 21,425.
Okay, so do you not get bank by adding all of these amounts?
Oh, you do?
So
yes.
How I
You
did,
will.
okay.
Yeah. So when I add this together, the 21,000 plus the 6,300, you will get to, let me just put this on my screen here. You will get to see what's on the memo, the 27,750. I just split it here so that we can logically understand how they got to the 27,000.
Okay, because just one last thing on the VAT output, how I got my VAT output, I took the sales amount, the 18,630, and I multiplied it by 15 over 115. I got 2,430.
Okay, so that is not the VAT. Okay, so this 18,630. So you first tell me, why did you say times 15 over 115?
Because I was looking for the VAT output.
Okay. But remember, within your cash receipts journal, the sales amount here is already exclusive of VAT. So this is the 100%. So that's not the 115% that includes VAT. That's why I always, maybe my brain works in journal entries, but I always think of what is going to be debited and what's going to be credited. So for every debit, I must always have, always, a corresponding equal credit. So if they told me that my sales is 18,630, that sales account is an income statement account, or in the statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income. All my transactions in the statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income already exclude VAT. So this sales amount excludes VAT. So when I need to calculate the VAT,
Investments.
I need to say 18,650 multiplied by 15, which is what I want, over the 100, which is what I got, that 18,630, to get to that 2,795. And when I add those two together, I'm going to get what the customer actually paid me in my bank account, which is my sale amount, including the VAT. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay. No, it does make sense. I think the confusion came because the initial e-tutor question that we have under the VAT output, it has 2,430. So when I calculated, I got the same amount versus what you have on your side, the 2,795. I see how you got that, but I think the confusion came also from the e-tutor question that has a different amount to what we're seeing on the screen. But I think it's clear.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, it's a pleasure.
Next, Emma.
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Tracy, just please explain to me, is it a rule of thumb that whenever there's a sale, it's always excluding VAT? Because you mentioned on the income comprehensive statement, is sales represented as exclusive of VAT? Or
That
can
is
the question
correct.
be rephrased differently?
No, that is correct. A sale will exclude VAT. That's why I'm saying you must always try and think of accounting. Whenever I
All
have
right.
a debit, I must have a corresponding credit.
Okay.
So,
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, Emma, you can go.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to ask, in your ledger account for bank, I'm a bit confused with regards to the name of the contra account for the 21425.
Okay.
Should that not
And
be
this must be sales.
sales?
Sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay, thanks.
Can we continue?
Hello.
Hi.
Can you please explain to me the rule and show me? Can you please show me and explain to me the VAT rule?
The VAT rule.
Yes.
Is this the want over got method? The person that
Yes. Hello.
Is someone wanting to ask a question?
Yes. Hello. Am I audible?
Okay. I can hear you. Is this the do you want to understand the want over got method? Is that what you want to understand?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, so let us just use our sale example. Okay, so in our cash receipts journal, they provided us with the sales amount, right? And this sales amount is exclusive of VAT. So let us just type it here. So the sales is, what do we have? So we have 100%, right? What do we want? We want, oh goodness, I can't spell. We want 15%. So now to calculate the VAT on that sale of 18,000 Rand, we need to say 18,630. So it's 18,630 multiply what we want. So we want 15% because we want to know what the VAT is, divided by what we have. So what do we have? We have 100%. And that is how we get to the VAT of 2795. Does that make sense?
Yeah, good evening. Let me take the hand on behalf of, let me allow the mic on behalf of Pamela. Number one on the screen is Sylvia. Sylvia. Let's move to the second one. The second one is Ritabile. Ritabile. Let's move to the next one. The next one is Tato. Tato Manzini. Tato. Tato.
Please unmute them, sir.
Tato. Let's move to the next one. Muzimkulu.
Good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Can you please go back to the journals, please? I have a question with the discounts.
With the journals or the ledger? Okay.
The journals, the journals.
Okay. Yes, and then?
So with the journals, yeah, I saw on the CRJ when we granted a discount, I had it confused because I thought when we granted discount, we are sort of losing money in a way. And when we receive discount, we get money. So can you please explain that to me? Because
That is
I
correct.
have it confused.
You explained it correct. Okay, so remember when you sell to a customer on credit to encourage them to pay quicker, you give them a discount, and that is a discount allowed. So in our journals, so like you were saying, if we think about it in journals, right, we gave the customer a 200 Rand discount. So if we had to record this in our journal, we would have said debit 200 Rand, right? So that would have gone to our statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income. Okay. Because it's an expense on our side. We would have debited our input VAT with 30 Rand. Correct. So that 30 Rand must come here with our input VAT. Then we would decrease our trade receivable with the 230 Rand. Because now our customer must pay us less by 230 Rand. And that is why we have this 230 on the credit side on the trade receivables account.
Okay, like what? Like I think you misunderstood me. My question was, why is it on the CRJ when we give a discount?
Oh, why is it? Well, it's a
why
negative.
is it on the CRJ when?
It's a negative. So we're reducing the amount that they must actually pay.
Oh, okay, all right.
You see,
now I see.
it's a minus. So it's 6,555 minus that.
Minus the 200.
You see.
All right. I was confused with that only.
Okay. Do you understand now?
Thanks. Yes,
Okay.
yes, I understand.
Okay, perfect.
The next one, give me seconds. The next one is Jay Brown. J. Brown. Let's move to the next one. The next one is Ntateni Simakaleng Oscar. 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 The next one is Ufenze.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, I would like to ask, so whenever there's a sale, discount should always be calculated?
Not always. The question needs to tell us that there's a discount.
Okay, because I'm looking at exercise 5.2. It says cash sales, but they didn't calculate discount over here. So I'm actually I'm a bit confused because you said cash sales and you did a discount over there, and here it's saying cash sales they didn't calculate any discount. So that's what I wanted to know, if for all the sales are we calculating discounts or not, or the transaction will tell if we should or we should not.
That is correct. The question will tell you if there is a discount. So in our current example, there is a discount.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
The next one is Sifundo. 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 Let's move to the next one. The next one is Nontandla. Nontandla.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Good evening.
Yes, I have two questions. I'm a bit lost. I can see that the general ledger for VAT output, it increases on the credit side. So that means, do we regard it as an income? Does that mean it is an income?
No, so as Mpo explained earlier, so remember when you make a sale, you must charge VAT out. If you are a registered VAT vendor, then you need to charge output VAT on your sale to your customer.
Yes.
But that VAT output you are collecting on behalf of SARS. So you need to pay that VAT output to SARS. So it's not income to you.
That's why I'm confused, because I can see it increases on the side. I know it's not an income, it's a VAT that you collect. I mean, you collect from your customers, and then the input is the one that you charge. Oh, sorry, yeah. But my question was, why do we regard it as like income?
A credit. So it's not regarded as income, but it increases on the credit side because it's a liability. So remember, when a liability increases, it increases on the credit side.
Okay,
so it's a
now
liability. So think about it. Why is it a liability? It's a liability to me because I owe it to SARS. SARS is my creditor, if I can say that. I must pay this money to SARS.
Yes, I get you. Thank you so much. And then another question is about the VAT output that is, I mean, let me say the VAT that is subtracted from the discount. Why is it regarded as VAT input? The 30 rand. The 30 rand is calculated from the discount allowed.
Okay. So remember, so a discount allowed is an expense to us. And on expenses, we pay or claim VAT input. So that is why this 30 Rand is, or we have VAT input, is because the discount allowed is an expense.
Even though the hello.
Hi, I can hear you.
But we did not pay any cash. We just granted them a discount. So even though we did not pay any cash, we must calculate the VAT input out of it.
Yeah, that's correct. So remember, a discount is not, it's not cash. So you made your original sale to your customer. But now your customer is not paying you the full amount back. Your customer is paying you less money because you're giving them a discount. So in your books, you're actually receiving less than what you were supposed to receive originally. So in our case, we're giving this person a 200 Rand discount. So that is why for us, it's actually an expense because we're receiving less money.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether we can take questions or now, or we can take questions after the session.
I think after the session.
Oh yeah, let's continue. Then we'll take questions after the class, after the session. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, let's continue then. I just want to slot in the opening balance for the VAT input, which they gave us, which was 25,000. Oh, goodness, 25,000. Okay, I'll try to speed it up now. Okay, so when we go to our cash payments journal, once again, they're asking us to calculate what is the bank amount. So in essence, they are asking us how much money went out of our bank account. Because payments mean that we are transacting on a cash basis. So either we purchased, made purchases on cash, or we previously purchased goods on credit from a supplier, but now we are paying our supplier. So that means our bank account is getting less. So money is going out of our bank account. That's why the name of this journal is called Cash Payments Journal. Okay, so now let's go to our recording because we want to record these transactions in our ledger account. So when we go to our purchases, remember our purchases, that is a transaction in our statement of profit and loss. So this amount excludes VAT. So when I say 7,245 Rand and I multiply that. So let's go there. Okay, so we have 7,245. But we want to know what is our VAT on this. So we say times 15. I think I had a trade payables general ledger somewhere actually. So rather put it in there. Yes. Here we go. Okay, so first, sorry guys, I'm getting confused now because I have so many ledgers. Okay, so our purchases ledger, they gave us a balance as well. The balance was 192,000. Okay, so we put that balance in. They gave us purchases in our accounting records of 7,245 Rand. So we know that is the exclusive of VAT amount. So now to calculate the VAT, we need to say 7,245 times 15, which is what we want, over 100, which is what we got, because that 7,245 is the 100% exclusive of VAT amount. So to calculate our VAT, we say 7,245 times 15 over 100, which is 1,087 Rand. And to double check ourselves, we can see in our cash payments journal, 1,087 Rand was computed. So 7,245 Rand plus the 1,087 Rand is what went out of our bank account when we made these purchases. So when we record this, so this is what a general journal will look like, but we are required to prepare the general ledger. So we paid 7,245. In our VAT input account, we will need to have our 1,087 Rand, which is right there. And then we would pay 8,332 out of our bank account. So that must go there. Equals. Okay, so we paid 8,332 Rand. So we are putting it on the credit side of our bank account. And the reason for this is we are paying money out. So our bank account is getting less. Our asset is decreasing. So that is why we are crediting the account. Right. They then told us we made payments to trade payables of 6,440. But remember, this trade payables balance here already includes VAT. So if we just go to our trade payables account, so they told us we paid 6,440, but we also received a settlement discount of 100 Rand. So what does that mean? That we need to pay our trade payables 100 Rand less than what we originally had to pay. So this would be an income to us, and therefore we need to pay 15 Rand output VAT on that settlement discount received. So let us just think about it logically, how we would record it. So we would say our discount received is 100 Rand. How do we calculate the VAT on this? So we have the discount, which is excluding VAT, and that is the 100%. So to calculate the VAT, we would say 100 times 15%, which is what we want, over the 100, which is what we got. And that is the 15 Rand. And when we go back to our cash payments journal, we can see that our settlement discount, the VAT on the settlement discount is the 15 Rand. So the 100 Rand plus the 15 is our total settlement discount, and that is the total amount with which we will reduce our trade payables. So that means when our trade payables decreases, we debit it. So that is why we are putting this 115 on the debit side. And now we need to see how much do we need to pay our trade payables actually. So we are paying them 6,440 less the 115. So we are paying them 6,325 Rand. So once again, this must go on the credit side of our bank account. So that is why we have 6,325 Rand on the credit side in our bank. They also told us we paid for sundry amounts, but clearly these sundry amounts do not have VAT on it, because if it did, there would have been a separate column here that would have indicated to us that there was VAT, but in this case, there is no VAT on the sundry amounts. So we can just take it for granted then that the 3,395 Rand was payments made to suppliers. And when we add up those three amounts, we arrive at an amount of 18,051 Rand, which is that exact amount in our memorandum. So you will see total payments is 18,052, and that is how we actually got to the 18,052. Our receipts was 27,750. And when we add those two amounts together, we get to the 27,750. We then need to balance our account. So we add up all the amounts on the debit side and we arrive at 29,900. We then subtract these amounts here, the 18,052 Rand, and we then have a balance which we carry forward to the 1st of March of 11,848, and that also agrees to our memorandum of 11,848 Rand. Let me just go back to the question.
Hi, Trace. Can you just slow down a bit, please?
Okay. Do I need to go back to something or repeat anything before we move on to the sales journal?
There's nothing I see in the chat. Just the trade payable, don't we? No, I think you can just continue. Or
Okay.
repeat the CPJ.
CPJ, the whole CPJ.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go back. Okay. So our CPJ tells us that we are paying money out. That is why this is called a cash payments journal. So we are either making purchases for cash or we are paying trade payables. And these are people where we previously bought items on credit, but we are now paying our creditors. Or we're purchasing sundry items. But the moral of the story is our bank account is getting less. So we are making payments out of our bank account. And that is the reason why all our transactions are being recorded on the credit side. Because when an asset decreases and our bank is an asset, it decreases on the credit side. So now we needed to calculate how much we actually paid for purchases, right? So this amount here that we paid for purchases is an exclusive of that amount. So this 7,245 Rand, it excludes VAT. So then we wanted to know how much actually went out of our bank account. It's obviously our amount including VAT. So we needed to calculate or confirm at least what is our VAT on this purchases amount. So to calculate it, we said 7,245 multiplied by the 15, which is what we want, over the 100, which is what we got, to arrive at 1,087 Rand. And then we added those two amounts together, the 7,245 and the 1,087, to arrive at the 8,332. And this is the amount that actually went out of our bank account to the supplier who we purchased from. So that is why on the credit side of our bank account here, we have 8,332 that we paid for our cash purchases. Our second column told us that we paid trade payables off. So these are people where we previously purchased inventory or any stock on credit. And now we are paying these payables, but we also received a discount. Okay, so now we want to find out how much are we actually paying these people if they gave us a discount as well. So our trade payable we know is 6,440, but now we need to reduce it by the discount. So they told us in the question, we received a 100 Rand discount, but we need to obviously add the VAT on that 100 Rand discount. So the total discount that we received inclusive of VAT is 115 Rand. So to arrive at the amount that we actually paid out of our bank to the trade payable, we say 6,440 less the 115, and then we get to the amount that went out of our bank account of 6,325 Rand, which is that 6,325 Rand on the credit side where our bank account is getting less. They then also told us we made sundry purchases of 3,395 Rand, but they didn't make any mention of VAT. So we can assume then that there was no VAT on these sundry amounts. So that 3,395 is the total amount that we paid for those sundry purchases. So that is why we credited our bank with the 3,395. We then went on to balance our bank account. Does that make sense? Pam, can we continue?
Yes, continue.
Okay. So then they also, maybe we must actually just complete our VAT accounts here, because I'm forgetting to do that now as we go along here. So our VAT was 25,000. We then had an input, and we had input of, okay, 1,087. Okay, so we did have that. And then our VAT output, the balance that they gave us was 52,174. So let's just type that in. And then cash sales, our VAT was 2,795. 2,795. Okay, that was input VAT. We already accounted for that. And then there was a discount. So that 15 Rand. Let's come here. Fine. Okay, so now we have a sales journal. So in our sales journal, this is where we are recording our sales. So remember, sales can either be cash sales or it can be credit sales. But our cash sales, we account for them in our cash receipts journal. So here our sales, in our sales journal, these are all sales that we have made on credit. So the trade receivable amount is the 115%. So this is the amount inclusive of VAT. Our sales amount is the 100% that excludes VAT, and the VAT amount is the 15%. So we then need to put that in our VAT output account. So now we've recorded that. And then we have our purchases journal. Our purchases journal is where we made purchases from suppliers, but these purchases are all made on credit. So this trade payable amount here is the 115%, and that includes VAT. Our purchases exclude VAT, and we can claim input VAT on these purchases that we have made. So we then go to our input VAT account. And we say debit 1,380. And we are debiting VAT input. Why? Because we can claim this amount from SARS. So any purchases we make, we claim VAT input. Any sales we make, we pay VAT output to SARS. Okay? We then look at our last two subsidiary journals. So we have sales returns. So this is where customers have now brought back. They are not happy with the purchases that they made. So they are bringing back to us the items that they have purchased. So now let us record our VAT output on our sales return. But what I want you to note here is the VAT output on the sales return is a debit. Why is it a debit? So remember, on the original sale that was made, you would have accounted for VAT output, which is a credit balance. But because this person is bringing the item back, that means my sale is getting less, my trade receivable is getting less, so my VAT that I need to pay to SARS is also getting less. So that is why I am debiting the 45 Rand. And I then have a balance of 57,039 Rand. Is that correct? Yes. So on my VAT output, it's 57,039 Rand. And then when I go to my VAT input, it's the same with the purchases returns. So remember, when I originally purchased items, I could claim that input from SARS. And when I can claim, my VAT input is a debit balance and it increases on the debit side. But now, because I am returning these purchases that I made, my payables to my suppliers is less. So therefore, my VAT input is also less. So I need to credit my input with 120 Rand, and I have a balance of 27,377. Let's just double check on the memo. It's 27,377. I think we've gone through them all. The only other accounts that we needed to create was the trading inventory account. So there was no movement on this account. They did, however, provide us with a balance. So that's why that account has a balance. So we can see their trading inventory, 52,000. So that is where we get that 52,000. The sales is the balance that they've given us, plus our cash sales, plus our credit sales. And then same with the purchases. It's our balance plus what we purchased on credit, plus what we purchased on cash, for cash. And that is our memo. Are there any questions?
Yes, we can take questions.
Okay.
Let me come in for allow mics.
Okay.
Let me start with, just give me seconds. The more we are done, let me go to let me go to Masilu. Just hold on. Just a second. Let me go to Masilu Marvin. Marvin? Let me go to the next one. The next one is T Maziva. T Maziva. Let's move to the next one. The next one is Unetsi Sikwele. Unetsi? Unetsi? Unetsi Sikwele? Sikwele? Hello? Unietsi? Let's move on to the next one. Carol Pufa.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My question is regarding how to know if a transaction includes VAT or it excludes VAT. Because here I keep hearing the is it Tracy saying that the sales and purchases every time they posted from the journals, the general journals, they're excluding that. But for the credit transaction, the trade receivables and the trade payables, those all include VAT. Is that just a general law that every time we post into the sales and purchases, the journals exclude VAT, and then the trade receivables and trade payables all include VAT? My question.
Yes, Carol, thanks. That is correct. So remember transactions, let me just find it here. Transactions that are recorded in your, well, obviously, firstly, you must be a VAT vendor, but when transactions are recorded, let's just maybe go to an example. Then you can see it. Like, for example, the purchases. So you would debit your purchases, and that goes. You always, it's important, I think, to remember that this is an expense item, right? And it goes to the statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income. So all my items in the statement of profit and loss, well, those that are VATable at least, exclude VAT. You then need to debit your input VAT, which is a statement of financial position account. And then your bank or your trade payables, depending on whether you purchase it on credit or cash, includes VAT. So all transactions that go to your profit and loss does exclude VAT, yes.
Okay, and then all the transactions that are the trade receivables and trade payables always include VAT?
Correct, that goes to statement of financial position, yes.
Okay, thank you.
So that's important for you to remember also from the start when doing accounting. Know which line items affect my profit and loss and which line items actually affect my balance sheet. While your balance sheet is your statement of financial position. And it will make it easier for you to know from there.
Let's move to the next one. F Chokwe. F Chokwe.
Evening.
Evening.
I'm just going to ask the basic questions. I don't know if I'll be taking others backwards, but I'll be happy for just a simple explanation. So when she was like showing the journals, I was confused a little bit. Like I saw on cash received journals, there were trade receivable recorded there. And later I saw she said sales, what you call sales journals is where we record trade receivable. And the same one I saw with cash payment journal, I saw what you call trade payable recorded there. And later I saw it recorded in purchase journal. I don't know, maybe I don't understand the journal. Can you just clarify me there?
I hope I'm going to answer you. I think, remember these transactions here, this is where we got the transactions from. So we saw in our cash receipts journal, this sale amount here was a cash sale. This was a credit sale, but now these creditors are paying us. Or these debtors, sorry, the trade receivables. Maybe I'm not understanding the question.
Okay, I think the question is just maybe I don't understand what to record where, because I thought cash receipt journal, we record every like cash we receive. And I thought
That is
it's
correct.
including trade. Okay, so trade receivable is also recorded in cash receipt journal.
Tracy, just go back to your your ledger. I can't just go up.
Which
I
one?
think she's just because you broke it down in when you gave the solution. Just
Oh,
explain
okay,
why
okay,
you broke
okay,
it down.
okay. Oh, okay. So here I literally broke it up just so that we could see where it's coming from, right? So this sale here was a cash sale. So that is why we said debit sales there. Then this amount here was the cash that we received from the trade receivable. So when the person is paying us money, our bank is increasing on the debit side. So that is why. And the other leg of this entry would be in our trade receivable account, where we would credit our trade receivable because it's getting less. The person is paying us. So the other leg would be on this side. This is where it is. Our trade receivable on the credit side getting less. Does that explain? Pam, can you? Is there any other way that you can put it?
No, it's fine. I think I need to read, then I will understand.
Yes, because what she did here in the original question, like if the question was just like the memo, you wouldn't have split it to show sales, to show trade receivable. She did it like this to show you guys how to get to the bank balance or the money that you received. Just go to the memo, Trace.
So for example, that 21,000, I'll go there now, Pam. This 21,000 plus the 6,000 equals 27,750, right? And when you go to the memo, you will see their total receipts 27,750. So I just split it to show you how that 27,000 is broken up.
Okay, I understand now.
Perfect.
The next one is Rishi.
Okay, thank you. For me, I think this is very good. The question that I wanted to, two questions, in fact. This detailed lecture, is it going to be downloaded and when, including these calculations? And
Tonight,
to the last,
maybe after, maybe let's say maybe around 11 p.m. under announcement.
excellent.
The
And
slides
then,
and the recording will be there under announcement.
okay. And then the last question that I have is our next assessment will be, I think, study unit 5, 6, 7, and 10. Are we going to get an opportunity maybe to revise 6, 7, and 10 as well? I know that 10 is not that long. Maybe 6 and 7 before we write?
I don't think so, because assessment is opening on Friday morning, and there's no
no
time to include those study units.
Okay, okay. So we just go to the recordings and then.
Yeah, just revise using recordings for
Excellent.
for the
But thank you
upcoming
very much for
assessment.
this. Yeah, your demonstrations are very, very helpful.
Well, thank you very much. Let's move to Empiri. Empiri.
Good evening, sir.
Evening.
My question is on VAT input, particularly with purchasing the non-current assets like your machinery. So, do you also claim the VAT input on services and repairs on those maybe machinery that you buy? And if so, what happens maybe if your business grow and then you decide to hire someone to service and repair those machinery for you, and how do you reconcile your VAT input?
Sam, are you answering?
Okay, I'll answer. Okay. So remember, VAT input you can claim on goods and services. So repairs would be like a service that you get from maybe an external company that comes and check your machinery. So you can claim VAT on that or on that service that you receive for repairing. On the question of firing someone, let's say you hired a technician or an engineer to do repairs. Remember what Paul said, that there's no VAT on salary and wages. So you only pay employee tax. So that will not have any impact on your VAT input. You're not allowed to claim it. I hope I understand your question.
Yes. No, I understand. That means you only claim it when your machinery is serviced by another company.
Yes, it's a service that you receive, so you're allowed to claim VAT on services.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Next one, Tshepo Rafuma.
Hi. I think
Hi, how
that
are you?
we have a question around the trade receivables. So we understand that when we buy and we pay on cash, then we record the VAT input and output in the journals. So in this case, with the buying and with the paying on credit and buying on credit, why is it we don't record the VAT input and VAT output? But then in this one example, we recorded the VAT output on the discount.
I'm just going to go back to the original question again. So firstly, it depends on the question. So that is how you would know, obviously, if you must record the VAT input or VAT output. But in this case, for example, we were asked to record our bank account in the in our general ledger. So in our original transaction, we would have, for example, for this trade receivable, when we originally purchased, we would have said debit trade receivable, and we would have said credit sale, and we would have said credit VAT output. So if they had asked us to record the original transaction, yes, we would have. But our question is specifically asking us to record the bank account. So that is why, for example, in this situation, we're not accounting for the VAT, for the trade receivable.
Oh, okay. So that
you see, you have to look at what the question is
done.
asking. Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
If
I
they had
understand
to
the VAT.
if they had to ask us to originally record it, then we would have for sure accounted for the VAT output.
Oh, okay, I understand. So the VAT would have been recorded when we made that purchase, and then now we are paying back the money that we owe. Okay, I understand.
Correct. Thank you.
The next one is Tlape Paulina Lidira. Paulina?
Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I want to ask regarding exclusive of VAT. I'm confused. I don't know which one to use between 100 divided by 115 or 15 divided by 100. I think I don't know how I confused the two.
Okay,
Hello?
so you need hello.
Must I take this, Tracy?
Oh, you can, Paul. Thank you.
So Paulina, can you please just repeat your question again?
I'm confused when it comes to exclusive of VAT. I don't know which one to use between 100 divided by 115 or 15 divided by 100, because last time
So
we
is
were
this
told,
when you want the amount exclusive of VAT?
yes.
You want the amount exclusive
Yes.
of VAT. So it depends on the amount that you've been given. So if you've been given an amount inclusive of VAT, right? To get the amount exclusive of VAT, it would be 100 over 115. If you've been given an amount inclusive of it. If you want the VAT amount and you've been given an amount inclusive of VAT, it would be 15 divided by 115.
Oh, okay. So it depends on what I'm given.
It depends on what you've been given, yes. And that's why in the States, I say you must give your amount given, the percentage of what you want and the percentage of what you have.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Let's move to the next one. Messi Rendani. Messi Rendani. Let's move to the next one. Team Aziva.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm perfect. I'm perfect. Yeah, I think I have a first question on cash payment juniors. I didn't understand exactly on uh, on discount that we were given. I don't know. Sorry, did you hear me?
Yes.
Like, I don't know, how do we know on discount, how do we know that the payment is exclusive of VAT? Hi.
Hi.
I don't know, maybe you didn't hear my question correct. Let's say on that 100 rand
Yes.
on discount. So how do we
Yes.
know that 100 rand is exclusive of VAT?
Okay, so remember earlier we said that so a discount is something that you're going to record in your profit and loss, right? So that means that anything that affects our profit and loss, that is already exclusive of the VAT. So that 15 rand that's in the column next to that, this VAT here relates to that 100 rand there.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So
Yeah.
you would say, let me just see where that was, the discount received. Here we go. So discount received is when a trade payable tells us, okay, fine, you owe me money, but I'm giving you a 100 rand discount. But that 100 rand discount excluded the VAT. So remember, this goes to our profit and loss, right? Then our VAT on that, we say 100 times the 15 of what we want over the 100 of what percent of what we got to get to that 15 rand. And that matches this 15 rand that we have in our CPJ. So the two together is our discount, the 115 rand.
Okay, thank you. I think I have another question on that. Last time when I just asked about the previous assessment, then someone says I should keep my question and then I will ask on the class that will be held, I think, today. So I didn't hear the revision process of the assessment one. So I just want to know where exactly are we going to do this session of revision of the first assessment? Because to my side, I think I did the right thing, but I didn't get the total marks. So I don't know where exactly I get wrong on that previous assessment. So previous, when I asked about this, the presenter said that I should keep my question and I will reply on the oncoming assessment, which will be exactly focusing on revision of first assessment.
Yes, you are correct. But unfortunately, due to late registrations, yeah, even today, students are still coming, and due to late registration, unfortunately, we maybe maybe after 2 weeks we'll open the reviews for assessment one, because now students are still late registration. Students are still writing assessment one. That's why, unfortunately, yeah, the reviews are still closed for now.
So
And we
is there
postpone
any chance
also. Come again.
So is there any chance that we will get our reviews on, or where exactly do we get wrong? So we start working on that issue. So now for now, to my side, I didn't know where exactly I go wrong. I didn't get my pleasant marks on the first assessment, but I didn't get a review on what I did correct and what I did wrong. So that's I
That's
will
why
create more space.
That's why I'm saying, due to late registrations, reviews will open reviews later or not next week. Maybe I'm not sure about the date, because we are still receiving late registrations and we must keep the assessment closed until all students registered for FAC 1502 route assessment one. Then we'll open the reviews.
Okay, thank you very much.
No, thank you. The next one is Chirufajo. Chirufajo Mashiru.
Yes, hi, how are you?
Good, and you?
Hello, can you hear me? I'm good, thank
Yes.
you. So, my question is on CRJ. Can we not include the financial statements at this moment? Just clarity here.
The part of statement, you mean like a statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income, statement of financial
Of
position?
financial position as well as cash flow. No, don't include that. Maybe at this moment, if we focus on the journals.
Yeah, for study
Then,
unit 5, there is no financial statement. It will
no.
come later.
What I meant is that can I get a response without including the financial statements?
Come again?
Can I get a response without, if when I'm gonna ask a question and the response that I'm going to get, can you not include the financial statements?
Because study unit 5, 6, 7, and 10, there are no financial statements.
No. What I meant is that Tracy, when she responds
Maybe
to
I
other
don't
questions,
What is your
understand.
question?
Okay,
She's
my question is
asking
based
that
on the
if she asked a question, don't refer to the financial, don't refer her to the financial statements. Just answer
Thank
it
you.
for that.
Thank you very much. So my question is based on the transaction for cash receipt journal. Right.
Okay.
So I want to understand here that when we, according to my understanding and maybe the ground knowledge, is that when you input your transaction on the cash receipt journal, before you calculate your bank amount, okay, for us, okay, we can exclude the bank amount. So when we're going to put our sale amount, we have to minus the VAT output, right?
That's correct.
Yes. And we also have to minus the before we minus the VAT output, we have to minus the trade receivable based on the total amount that we've got. If maybe I'm a debtor and I'm paying now, I'm buying something and also paying my debt that I had previously. What you're going to do is that you're going to take the whole amount minus the debt amount that I had. And then that's when you can, the remaining balance, that's when you can take out the VAT input and also put on the sale amount. Is that correct?
Can you please repeat your question?
Yeah,
Please
repeat your question.
So, what I'm saying, Nif, is that I had a debt, maybe let's say I paid 200 rand, right? And then I had a debt of, let me calculate, sorry. I had a debt of 85 rand, right? So you're going to put that on my trade receivables because I paid 200 rand and something that I wanted was costing me 100 rand and my VAT was 15 rand. So what you're going to do on that 200 rand, isn't it that you're going to take 85 rand out and put it on the trade receivables on my on your cash receipt journal? Put the 85 rand on the trade receivables and then have the sale amount. The sale amount, that's where you're going to minus the VAT output, which you're going to allocate it on the VAT output, and the remaining 100 rand will be on sales. You get that?
No, but I'll try. So you just want to understand how to input the figures in this cash receipt journal.
I understand that. What I want to understand is how you calculated the bank balance there
the
on the
bank
journals.
balance.
Yes.
In this one.
So the bank balance, that's the amount that I've paid in full. Remember, if you have a debtor, you're going to say, if I'm taking something on credit from you, which cost maybe 85 rand, ne? Exclusive of VAT, we can just say that. You're going to debit your sales and then, you're going to credit your sales with 85 rand and then debit your debtors control with 85 rand. That's double entry, right? And when I pay it back, that's the money that it's going to go to the bank account and it reduces the trade receivable control. Trade debtors control. Sorry about that. So what I want to understand is the way that you've calculated your bank balance on that side, yeah, the journals, on the general ledger, double entry side.
Go back to the journals.
Okay.
Trace. Trade receivables.
So there's bank. Do you want trade receivables? Okay.
So you want to know how she got to this amount?
I'm getting that amount. It's already there on the cash receipt journal.
Yeah.
Right? And obviously it includes its own VAT, right?
Yes.
And how we're going to minus VAT here, it's when we are doing our purchases journal. Back then when we are buying as on credit, right? That's when you're going to minus your VAT and stuff like that.
Yes.
So what I want to understand, this VAT trade receivables, I do understand. What I want to understand is your bank.
Yes.
Oh, bank.
The account for bank. Yes. How you've calculated it from the CRJ. That's your debit side, right?
This.
Yes.
27,750. Essentially, it's your sales that you received plus your VAT of 2,795. I just tried to type it simply here quickly so you could see.
Okay, cool.
So it's essentially your sales plus your VAT. So remember, when someone pays you cash, it includes the VAT amount. So that's why we're adding the VAT there. Your trade receivables, those are your customers that include your VAT. So now when they pay you, That is what you are receiving. It's the total amount, including VAT. We then need to deduct any discount, and we also need to deduct the VAT on any discount. And that is how that's how we get to the 27,750. This year was just to split. So if that 21,000 is actually that 18,000 plus the 2,000 to get to 21,425. Same thing.
So what about the trade, the debtors control amount? Why don't you include it? Isn't it? This is one transaction.
Okay. It's the 6,325. It's your 6,555 less your discount and your VAT, which is 6,325, which is that one line there.
Okay, cool. Now understood. Thank
Does
you.
that make sense? Okay, perfect.
It does.
The next one is Puti Rankapula.
Good evening. I think I have two questions and just one comment. The first one being the assessment 2. I think on the announcement it says we are going to write based on unit 5, 6, 7, and 10. However, I saw a post from somebody on the I'm in class. Sorry about that. On the WhatsApp group saying assessment 2 is based on 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10. So I just want clarity on that. Number 2 is Juju. Okay, thank you. Number 2 is that for someone to get to the general ledger posting, do we have to do all these journals, Tracy, that you have demonstrated? Or we can do it simply the way that you just showed the lady that I think you answered just a few minutes ago. I think that's my second question. And my comment is that in one of the classes, I can't remember which one, someone actually requested that we get an example of or a demonstration of an example of possible questions that will be asked in the assessment and how to answer that in the assessment. Just an example. Yeah, those are the 3 that I wanted to mention. And sorry about the noise of my child.
Thank you for your question. I can maybe answer just the second question quickly. So the only reason why I demonstrated it this way is because the question was specifically asking us here, prepare the following general ledger accounts. So unfortunately, if you ask for general ledger accounts, yes, then that is the presentation. Then your T account presentation is what is going to get you the marks. That's why in the beginning, I made the demonstration that if you are asked a general journal, it would look like this little yellow block here. You would just say debit with a corresponding equal credit. So depending on your question, because that's why I said in the beginning, specifically lots of students get confused between what is a general ledger and what is a general journal. Although you're recording the same transaction, remember, for exam purposes, you need to present it in the correct format. So you need to know what is the difference between a ledger account, which are these T accounts, and a general journal.
Okay, I'm answered. Yes, I'm answered. Okay, thank you.
Then let me come in for assessment 2. It will be only study unit 5, 6, 7, and 10. No study units 8 and 9 for assessment 2. It will be only 4 study units, 5, 6, 7, and 10. And remember our assessment, there are quizzes, not written assessment. If, for example, we give you general ledger account, we'll give you options. Maybe, let's say, maybe on the credit side, maybe the correct answer is purchases. With maybe purchases, we'll give you more, maybe we'll give you purchases, sales, inventory. Then you choose the correct answer from the options, because it's not a written where you are going to write down. You just choose the correct options. And the only thing you need to put is the correct amount. And to put the correct amount, you must follow the instructions from the required. If the instructions say round off to 2 decimals, then you must round off to 2 decimals. If the option maybe, for example, say if there is no, if maybe if maybe there is no, I don't know how to put it. Maybe if it says hello, if it says maybe for if the amount is not applicable, put if there is no amount, put NA. You must follow the instruction and you put not applicable. It's just in the assessment, you must just follow the instructions from the required. But remember, this is not a written assessment. We'll give you, if we give you the, maybe for example, we give you the sales journal or purchases journal or cash receipts journal. We'll give you transaction, then you'll choose from the options. Maybe the first one, you'll choose whether this is sales journal, sales return, purchases return, cash receipts. We'll give you those options. And from the transaction, you tell us whether this is cash receipts, cash payments, sales journal, sales returns journals, for example. And also under the VAT input or VAT output column, you must choose whether this is VAT output or VAT input. The option will be there. You choose the correct one. If maybe is purchases journal, then the required says used periodic inventory system. Then under that column will give you purchases, inventory, sales. You will choose the correct amount according to perpetual inventory system. And remember, perpetual inventory system, the correct answer will be inventory. If it's periodic, the correct answer will be purchases. It's just will give you the options. You just choose the correct option. I don't know whether you are answered or not.
Yeah, you tried to answer me, and I think I'm happy with the answer that you have given me. Maybe my last request is that I heard that we are not going to do revision on unit 6, 7, and 10. And I'm just thinking, will it not be helpful if we can have revision on this 3? I mean, we are already I don't want to say struggling, but we are already pressurized with unit 5, the VAT output and input. But I think it will be a better idea for us to get a revision on 6, 7, and 10, so that we can get better results, because we are all trying to do our best. But if most of us really are not understanding what is happening, I believe that this module will be failed by many. But to do justice on this module, I think it will be advisable for us to do 6, 7, and 8. And thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Let maybe tomorrow meet with my team, then we'll decide, because tomorrow is Thursday. Maybe we'll see. Maybe if we can on Friday we can. Let's see, because already assessment is opening on Friday morning. Let's see. Maybe Friday we'll see. We'll meet tomorrow. Maybe Friday we can do something on Friday, because tomorrow is already late. Because first we need to send an announcement and inform all the students. Let's give us tomorrow, then maybe tomorrow we'll send an announcement.
Thank you. I truly appreciate.
No, thank you. The next one, let's allow Surodi Lerato. Lucia?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I have a question with regards to the sales and purchases returns. Yes, I saw that we did not account for the returns in the general ledgers of the purchases and the sales. Is it because we only account for it when we post directly to the um, statement of profit and loss and the trading account?
If I can answer that, remember the question was asking us to calculate VAT input and VAT output. So
Yes.
we would have recorded this in separate accounts if it was asked of us. But we only recorded for example, let's go back to where the returns. VAT input. So for example, we recorded the 120 Rand. We just recorded the VAT part just because we were asked to record the VAT account. But if we had to record it in the trade, if they asked us to have the trade payables ledger, then we would have decreased our trade payables ledger. So we would have debited the payables ledger with a 920. We would have credited purchases with the 800 and credited input VAT with a 120.
Yes, I'm asking because I understand that the returns reduce our purchases and they reduce the amount of sales that we receive from our debtors. What I'm asking is, in order to calculate the gross profit, we would need to have to account for the returns. So do we do it directly in the...
Okay, sorry, I missed your question. You would have had a separate sales return and a purchases return account.
Yes.
Yes, correct. Yes.
Okay,
It's
so
just
we
if-
don't have... Sorry.
Mhm.
No, I'm listening.
So you don't have to, so we didn't reduce our purchases account. There would have been a separate purchases returns account.
Okay. And
And
then
then we would have deducted it from there.
So when we do the closing journals, it's then that we can say we close it off two purchases.
Yes, you can. Yes.
Okay.
Lerato, are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you. Oh, I do have
Thank you.
another question.
Oh, it's fine. Continue.
With regards to assessment one, I don't want to speak specific about a specific question, but let's say, for instance, a transaction affects assets, which is plus and minus the transaction amount. Would we have to say plus, let's say, for example, the transaction is for 3,000, they bought inventory for 3,000, it affects inventory and bank. So would you have to say minus 3,000 plus 3,000 in the same block or column or something, or what are we supposed to do in that regard?
I'm afraid to answer the questions on assessment one because students are still busy writing it now as we speak until next week. That's why I want to...
I understand that. The question is, I'm concerned because we have
you
another...
confused by net effect. If let's say maybe the transaction affect asset only, affect asset side only, maybe the amount will be 0, because if maybe the bank, if maybe let's say maybe the bank increases by 5,000, and also maybe let's say maybe the business purchased inventory for cash, where you debit your inventory, where you credit your bank, then it will affect both assets. Assets will increase and decrease. That means your net effect will be 0. Maybe under the amount column you'll put 0 as the net effect, because you debit inventory and you credit your bank, then the net effect will be 0.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Mr. Mkhokoni, can I please just interject? I'm getting this question a lot on the side. The students are asking, Hore, in the assessment, how do they know if amounts are including or exclusive of VAT? Is there somewhere you're going to indicate in the question that assume that all the amounts are exclusive of VAT? Like what exam technique should they take with regards to that?
That one, Tracy answered it well. Tracy?
I'm here.
Yeah, you answered it well. Yes, you can answer the question if possible.
I just want to let me just plug this in quickly.
The student also must remember if there's columns, they must remember that purchases column we record amount excluding VAT. Then under sales column we also record amount excluding VAT. Then to calculate the VAT from the purchases column it will be 15 divided by 100 because the column exclude VAT, like the sales column also is under sales column we record amount exclude VAT. If we are saying calculate VAT from the sales column, it will be the amount from the sales column times 15 over 100, then it will give you the VAT amount.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go on, Tracy.
Okay, so I know this is let's just go there again quickly. I think it was this example I used earlier. So you always need to remember whether these line item or these columns, whether does it affect my statement of profit or loss, or does it affect my statement of financial position. So if something is going to affect my statement of profit or loss, that means that it is going to be an exclusive of that amount. So this sale amount here is a cash sale, and that sale excludes VAT. How do we know that? So we would record it as debit our bank. So our bank would be increasing because our customer is paying us cash. Hence, this is the cash receipts journal. We would credit our sale. And remember, our sale is going to the statement of profit and loss. And we need to credit our VAT output. So from a student perspective, you must also remember which line item on my financial statements do each of these columns affect. So that's how you will know if something is inclusive or exclusive of VAT. So if something is going to affect my profit and loss, I must remember it excludes VAT. If something is going to affect my statement of financial position, like trade receivables, then that is going to be inclusive of VAT. That's the easiest way to remember.
Thanks, Tracy.
You answered?
Yes, I am.
Oh, thank you. Let's go to Charmaine Twala. Charmaine Twala. Let's move to the next one. Esito Ngobo. Ngobo. Let's move to Ngobo.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. I have one question. So on my modules, there's revision exercises after each study unit, and there they tell us that the answer will be provided at a later stage, but then I cannot find the answers.
The answers are there under additional resources. If you go to my UNISA, you click additional resources folder, it will take you to study unit 1 to 17 zip. If you open that zip, there are solutions for all e-tutor questions.
Okay, thank you.
No, thank you. Let's move to Unietwe. Unietswe? Unietswe? Hello? Unietswe? Hi, Unietswe? Well, Unietswe is still struggling. Let's move to Ngongo. Sorry for the pronunciation of your surname. Ngongo. Unietswe? Let's move to Simon Cholo. Simon? Simon? Ruzani? Ruzani Emmanuel?
Good day. Good day, lecturers and everyone. My question is based on, you did say, Mr. Lecturer, that everyone has been writing the assignments.
Not, you mean assessment one?
Yes, I mean assessment
I'm saying
one.
only student who registered late from last week, maybe from 27 student who registered today, they're still busy writing assessment one.
Yes, I didn't put it correctly, but I'll try to hide some of the things just because the other students are writing. But some of the options, while we were presented by the Excel spreadsheet, there was an option 0 on basic accounting equations. But on those options that we're getting, they were confusing us. They were confusing.
Oh, the required.
They was doing a basic accounting equation and say that, okay, this is debit, this is credit, then this affect asset, this affect equity, this affect what. But when we were writing, there was not that option there to say this one I must choose to be 0. The only option that I saw, it's fine. I don't know if I choose the wrong one or the right one. If it doesn't affect assets, if it affects assets only, there was no option for me to say, this is assets, it affects bank. 0 equity, 0 what.
Remember,
so I had to struggle there.
Remember the basic accounting equation, it says assets equals to equity plus liability. Assets is the debit side, equity and liability is the credit side, which is the double entry system. And it says after each transaction, the basic accounting equation must remain in balance. That means if you are given transaction and your asset is 5,000, that means your liability and equity must also be 5,000. Then it will be maybe your liabilities, your equity is 5,000, then your liability will be 0. Then it will be 5,000 of asset, 5,000 of equity plus 0 of liability. For example, I'm just giving an example.
Yes, I hear you. But the options on equity and liability, they are saying the different story on the option that we must choose on the assessment.
Remember the assessment, the amount, you don't choose the amount in the assessment, you just put the amount, but you only choose the options.
But there was no 0.
No, on the option, there is no 0. 0 will be on the amount. There is no 0 on the options. On the options, it will be not applicable, maybe bank, debit, capital, credit. For example, there's no zero on the options. 08 will be the amount you put.
So if I want to balance my equation, can I choose that option of if this is money is going out, this is what I'm paying under bank, and then the other one I put zero out of those options that you are giving in us?
Yeah, it will be
must
zero.
I
If maybe, let's say, the transaction only affect asset, that means money going out of the business, money coming into the business. That means if, let's say, 2,000 is coming and also 2,000 is going out, it will be plus 2,000 minus 2,000, it will give you zero. And that side of the credit side, equity plus liability, is zero zeros. Then your transaction will remain balanced. Your basic accounting equation will remain in balance.
On because the option that we are getting is just because it's multiple choice. There is no zero there.
There's no zero. That's why I'm saying zero. You must put zero yourself under the amount because the option is only debit, credit, not applicable. We can't give you zero because you can't say debit zero, credit capital. It's not possible. That's why we say debit capital or debit bank or credit something else. And if there is nothing you debit or credit is not applicable. That's the option. That's why the option was debit capital, credit capital, not applicable. Zero. Yourself, you must put the amount under asset, equity, or liabilities.
Okay. Here's my other question. Because there is no option for zero. If I put a zero there, will the answer be
You can't
allowed?
put zero because you choose the correct option. The system will not allow you to put zero. Because we gave you option. Maybe let's say we gave you 5 options. We gave you bank, furniture, trade payables, trade receivables. We give you 4 options. You can't put zero. You put something that is there. You choose from those 4 options. You can't put the option that is not there. That's why I'm saying you choose the correct options from the options given in the assessment.
I understand you. Answered.
You can't say zero if there is no zero option.
Yeah. Okay, I'm answered. Thanks.
Oh, thank you. F Chokwe.
Okay, evening again.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. So what I wanted to ask, I don't know really, maybe it's because I didn't read before, maybe because I'm working, of course, I was unable to read. But, all the exercise that we're doing today, I understood everything, like how to calculate VAT, input, output, and the journals, everything. My only problem that I don't know, I didn't know what like the question was saying. What were you trying to achieve? Though I understood what was happening here, I did not understand what was the purpose of the activities. I don't know if I'm clear.
You mean today activity?
I mean today, right? Whatever we're doing, when we calculate, I understood everything, but I didn't understand what was the goal. What were you trying to achieve? What was the question to that calculations we were doing?
Agri is required. Like maybe the required says do general ledger accounts. What you must achieve is to know how to do general ledger account, which is you always remember asset is one of the asset. Is if the account is an asset, for example, bank account is an asset. And remember, asset always increases on the debit side and reduces on the credit side. That one is just to maybe you are given journals, you are given cash receipts, cash payments, sales journal, sales returns journal. We want to teach you how to record those transactions in the general ledger accounts.
Okay. Okay, no, I understand. So the difference between general ledger account and the general journal, what is the difference there?
The difference between what?
General ledger, I mean general ledger account and general journal. It's the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. You see general ledger accounts and
general journal.
Remember the accounting cycles, which says first transaction must take place. From there, you record to source document. Then from source documents, you record to the subsidiary journals, which is cash receipts, cash payments, sales journal, sales returns, and purchases journal, purchases returns. From there, you record the totals from those journals, cash receipts, cash payments to the general ledger accounts, which was the required of that exercise we did tonight. And from there, yeah.
No, continue, sorry.
Then from the general ledger accounts, you post the total to the annual financial statement, which is statement of profit and loss, and statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income, statement of financial position, statement of cash flow, and the notes. And also the last one is statement of changes in equity.
Okay, I get that one very well. Now I understand. And lastly, I tried to read it, but I just wanted it in simple terms. When we say trial balance, in simple terms, what does it mean?
You mean trial balance in simple language?
Yeah, simple language, so that I understand. When I see something trial balance, this is what is happening.
Remember, the main function of the trial balance is to check the correctness of the amounts from the general ledger account. Remember, the trial balance must balance. The debit side must equals to the credit side. That's why I'm saying the main function of the trial balance is to check the correctness of the balances from the general ledger account. If maybe the trial balance is not balancing, that means one of your general ledger accounts is incorrect. Then you must go back and fix one of the general ledger accounts so that your trial balance must balance.
Okay, thank you very much. Your information is helpful.
No, thank you. Let's move to the next one. The next one is RM. RM. Let's move to the next one. RM is still struggling. Let's move to Martha Rengani. Martha.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? Yes, how are you?
I'm fine, and how are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah, I have a question, ne? I just got finalized yesterday. So I
okay,
just
that's fine. What you must do, send us an email to FAC1502@unisa.ac.za so that we can help you with assessment 1 and 2.
Okay, can you please repeat what did you say? I must send what?
You must send your email to FAC1502@unisa.ac.za.
Okay.
Well, now what you must do now, just you can stop with assessment 2. For now, you can prepare for assessment 1. And but send me an email tomorrow, then I will respond as soon as possible, so that I must open assessment 1 for you.
Oh, okay. Can you please just repeat for the last time? I want to write it down.
The email is under, if you check Pamela put it under the chat. If you go to the chat, it's FAC.
FAC?
1502
1502
at unisa dot ac dot za. Yeah, send an email to that mailbox.
Okay. I'll definitely gonna do that. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's move to Tumelo. Yes.
Good evening.
Evening.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Oh,
are.
yes. I just wanted to say I'm very, very concerned with assessment 1 because I attempted 3 times and I got the same mark.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and I believe that I followed every instruction that was given.
Yeah.
So, is there a way you guys can guide us as to how to answer the questions, especially the ones we have to type?
The one you have to type.
Yes, the one we have to type the amounts. Like, I believe that my answers were correct, but there's something that I was missing. I think maybe I didn't get full marks on something.
Oh, yeah, I
Is there a
understand
way
that one.
you guys can guide us?
Yeah, due to circumstances beyond our control. The revision class was supposed to be tonight, but due to late registration, we moved the review for assessment 1 later on. Maybe I don't know. Let's wait for late registrations to write assessment 1. Then after we will help you with
Okay, I get that, but don't you think that we're gonna make the same mistakes with assessment 2?
I don't, because then according to me the instruction they are clear sometimes. They are saying if there is no amount, you just put 0. If you feel there is no amount here, you put 0. If you feel there is amount, the required will tell you maybe do not separate the amount. Maybe you can't write one. Maybe, for example, maybe let's say the correct answer is 10,000. You can't write 10 and put the space and put 00. That's why you must say 1. You must don't separate don't. I don't know what to put it in English. You just put 10,000 straight. Don't say 10. Then you put space 00. And also the instruction will say do not put the R. That means always do not put the R. That means you don't put R 10,000, for example.
Yes, hence I'm saying I'm very concerned because I followed every instruction. Yes.
Maybe I don't know why the same. You receive the same marks for all your 3 attempts.
That's what I don't understand.
Maybe, but I think because remember all our assessments are marked by the system. There is only the system marked for us. We are not marking anything from you guys. Only the system marked for you.
No, even with assessment 2, since we also don't have guidance as to how we're gonna answer the questions, I feel like we're gonna experience the same thing.
To me, always the required is the required will not change. It will be the same required, the same, let's say the same instructions. Let me check I'm opening something here, but I'm not going to share. I just want to confirm something.
Okay.
It's still opening. It will take maybe a few seconds. I want to confirm something here.
Mr. Mkhogeni, while you're still checking that, just to add on what she is saying, I think it's the question that I asked before, where you said you will go and discuss it with management or with your superiors and revert to us. So I'm not too sure if we are not asking the same question again and again, and I'm looking at the time, but I think I asked this very same question that she's asking, maybe in a different way. But you said you will go and discuss with management and revert to us for
that one of, you mean that one of extra class before assessment?
Yes, I think I asked a question to say in the previous one of the classes, I can't remember which one. There's somebody who requested that we at least have a demonstration of what is expected of us in the assessment. And I think you kind of answered it. I said you answered it like
I answered,
partly.
and I said it will be tonight, 2nd of April. Yeah.
Yes, you partly answered that, but I think now, because everybody is panicking now, because if you fail the first and the second assessment, definitely you don't want to fail at the end of the year. So I think it's a plea from us as students to say, at least let it be considered. Let them demonstrate, even if it's not the exact, we are not saying should be the exact questions, but at least a demonstration. I mean, there's definitely a dummy system where you can actually see the demonstration and all that. So if they can just take us through maybe 1 or 2 questions to say, okay, fine, there might be this is an example of a question that might be asked, and this is how you can attempt it.
Yes.
You're all correct. Yeah, you are right. Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe, now I hear you, but let's maybe see, maybe we can organize something for Friday if it's possible.
Okay, all right. Thank
We'll
you.
send an announcement. Maybe we can organize something for Friday.
Okay, thank
But
you.
I'm not promising. We'll meet tomorrow as a team and see maybe if we can organize something for Friday.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
So we will cross our fingers. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
We are moving to the last two. Amogelang? Amogelang? Amogelang still struggling. Simon? Oh, Amogelang?
The question is not about what you have been.
Thank you. I just want to ask.
Okay.
Who is
how am I going to see if we're using perpetual? Is it going to be inventory as my key indicator, if I may put it that way, and purchase on the other side?
Then the question will tell you whether the business is using perpetual inventory system or periodic inventory system.
Okay.
For that one, that one it will be clear under the question whether the business is using perpetual inventory system or periodic inventory system.
Not clear. Thank you.
Thank you. Amogelang?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
My question is not related to the class or anything. It's just something else. So, sir, I did ask last month. I forgot when I did it. So I was asking about this thing of crediting of modules because I feel like I'm doing the same thing that I did before. Like I applied for credits, but I haven't got the
Come
answers.
again?
I'm saying that I have applied for credits of module.
For this module?
Yeah, even for this module.
Oh, yeah.
Today,
First, it must go to credit examination department. From there, They forwarded it to us. We are still waiting for them to send us something. Because as we don't have access, once they gave us they sent us the exemptions from the student, then we go ahead and provide or reject exemption. Maybe say approve or reject exemptions.
Okay.
Yeah, we are still waiting for Department of Registration and yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Maybe
your
just
advice
send what you must
continues
do.
like
Maybe what you can do, maybe just send an email to FAC1502 saying, maybe saying you applied for exemption on which date. Maybe we'll try to follow up with the guys from registration.
oh, okay, because on that crediting, like I applied for multiple modules. I think some of them were for second year and third year.
Yeah, what you must do, send only for us for 1502, then we'll follow up with registration. What's the
Okay.
delay from their side? Maybe there is delay from their side. I don't know what's the delay from them.
Oh, okay. So can you please repeat the email address again? You said FAC something.
FAC
Yeah.
1502
Okay.
at unisa.ac.za.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. The last one for tonight. This is the last question for tonight. Is Anil Mahek Anil? Anil?
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good, thank you. You remember I spoke to you last time during the revision of Assessment 1, and you said that you would give us a self-assessment to do before Assessment 2 opens, because accounting needs practice and we should know exactly how to go about doing the questions online.
Yeah, maybe it's me. I don't, because we did many. For that one, maybe it's one of my colleagues. I'm not sure whether it's me who answered your question. I don't remember, but your question is noted. Let's maybe put something under study units as a self-assessment.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
No, thank you. Pamela, you can take over, Tracy and Mpo.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for participating and joining the call. I think that concludes the class for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you,
Oh,
everyone.
thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Gitu ya.